Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is Grand Arena, the first match, final week, season 74. And we begin this week in a very different spot than last week. We're kind of in the middle, lower middle of the bracket. Or not the bracket, of the division. Because we've gone on a bit of a roller coaster. We went 3-0 during the first week, and then we went 0-3 last week. The first two matches were pretty competitive. Had I incorporated some of the newer counters, I could have won those things. That final match, though, that one, no shot. That guy was a monster. But I hadn't experienced and wasn't comfortable with some of those newer counters. Wasn't sure if they were going to work with my roster, so I held off. We're using them this week. We're using them today. But we're going to quickly go through some of these matches here. Opponent used JMK versus Ray. Lost. Used Great Mother versus Ahsoka. We're looking at Malicos up against Ray Swallow. Okay. Disappointing because my exile's there. JML Maz Kanata, Boss Nass falling to Balin. That's good because that is a Balin counter. Like, I used that up against Balin, so to see my Balin stopping it is good. Maybe it was some of his play, maybe it's the tank cron here, and he had the right attacker cron. Then Bane cleaning up Balin, that's a bit of a waste. SLKR up against Hondo. Bo-Katan taking down Third Sister. My defense. And one thing I realized, like, during the week, it's just my defense here is just not good. I realized, I think, after the second match of the week, just how many GLs I had left over on offense. Like, I had 3 GLs left over. So I did make some changes. Home one standing in a mirror. Sirjuna falling to Ray. Okay, that's what I'm expecting to see. Gas cleaning it up. JMK, Third Sister. We got JML. SOKR taking down Pirate Hondo. And this is the type of things that's happening because I didn't have, like, Lord Vader on defense. He has the luxury of being able to use SOKR up against my Hondo because I'm not forcing him to make that choice. Okay, Treya falling to Mace is solid. We did get a number of holds this match. Great Mother here falling to Saw. Phoenix falling to Third Sister. Bo-Katan falling to Saw. That is great. Then Omega falling to Third Sister. Then we got C cleaning up that Third Sister team. I can't believe I didn't win this match. We're tied on attempts, but I had some very inefficient clears. Like, in one attempt or 2 attempts, but just I lost a lot of people. Now this final match, this guy was good. Okay, used Bo-Katan. See, the attacker cron doesn't work up against the attacker cron. I learned that, I think, in week 1. Because if it isn't the attacker cron, it can win. Definitely. All right, he did. All my opponents are doing SLKR. Okay. Well, we've learned some things last week. We're going to incorporate that today. My opponent is Evan Mobley, Cav Center on my brain. 13.9 million GP, 600k more than me. He's got a handful, well, not more than a handful. He's got like 20-ish more Zetas than me. Lower on Amis, though. And that's the metric that counts. I am number 2 in the bracket on Amis. It looks like most players are in that, like, 50s range. Amis or GLs, he's at 10, Relics 309, which puts him number 1 in the bracket. So this is possibly the strongest account in the bracket. That's reflected in the tier total as well at 1800. That is number 1. There's some people not too far behind, but he's number 1. We see that in the tier 9 relics as well. He's got 39 by far. Well, no, actually not by far the most. There is somebody with 31, but by tiers, this guy is the strongest account. Mods, he's pretty good. He's excellent. His mods are excellent. Mine are falling in the middle. I'm like right in the middle, depending on the specifics. Datacrons, he's in the middle. I'm number 1. There's a couple other people. There's half of us taking it seriously, half not. He is among the half that is taking it seriously. He's looking really good with his GLs. He has no mods on his Afra apparently right here, but we have triple on Melgus. We got a single on Starkiller, dash, nothing. Everything here is whatever. Some of the modding here is looking pretty weak. We've got a 297 double Swallow, 302 single Third Sister, double Malicos, double Bane, double Baudelaire, double Jar Jar, double Cadme. This is how I like to do it. You go doubles and then you can start questioning if you want to add a third. We got Crosshair at 301, nothing with the Amis, same with Fugitive, and Jocasta, no Amis. We got a triple Exile, triple Dre, triple Balin, and he has some of these other ones. Okay. Let's get into this. Well, you know what? I should mention, maybe it's off screen. Yeah, he's off screen. There's one player in here who doesn't have Leviathan and has a 6-star Profundity, which is, at this stage, pretty unusual. Let's jump in, look at the quality of the modding here. Looking for that Crosshair at 301. It's not going crazy on the eras. I'm approaching that. He's much further along, but I'm not too far behind. All right, let's see. We got Drogon, CLS. We got Jar Jar right there, Badger, Rex, Pow. There's Crosshair right there. And that puts me at 72 characters exactly. The last one is Wrecker. BB-8's at 299. So that makes us pretty much even in terms of the number of characters we have modded at 300 speed, which is a good metric for him taking things seriously. It means we're not seeing any advantage there. All right, so I made no changes to start this match, although I think there's a number I probably should make. I think Third Sister's doing nothing for me on defense right now. That's one I could take off. Down here, I'm relatively happy. Although Exile would be better on Ahsoka, maybe we could take Ahsoka off if I'm not going to use Exile there. And then Pirate Hondo, I might just move to off. Well, no, because then that makes things easy for his Lord Vader. I don't know. I gotta do a little bit of studying to figure out how I want to adjust my defense. And then Fleet Unchanged. Pretty happy with the Fleet right now. I mean, it's just there's not really advantages there. Okay, so we are facing Pirate Hondo, Boba Fett, Great Mother, and Fugitive, but they don't even have Amis, so who cares? Down below, we are looking at Lord Vader, Jabba, Ahsoka, and Rey. Now, we tried some new counters last week. We're going to be using those. And we will begin with the Stranger. We need to create new presets for that. You know what? Let's just do it now, because all this stuff is so dated to be irrelevant. All right, Stranger, and then we need an unaligned Force user. That is Maul. That looks fine to me. Okay, so there's my new Star Killer squad, and this then I want an attacker Kron. So this we got protection, armor, penetration. I think that's good enough, or do I want? Yeah, it's good enough. Okay, we are facing Exile, we are facing a Raycron. Alright, let's go to the big screen and get started. We did this last week, it worked good. Just make sure we don't do anything stupid. Alright, we cleared the Foresight. I believe I decided I liked this one because it gives us some stats. Yeah, we get max health, and we get Acolyte allies to assist. So we'll throw this at Barriss. We want to get her out of here quickly. Okay, we triggered the damage immunity, and it should be gone now. Yep. You know what? Let's call Starkiller to assist onto that. Alright, let's blow up Barriss. It's fortunate that the damage immunity came off so quick. It means we can just eliminate her contribution. You know what? Let's keep working towards the Unleashed. We could hit Exile for big damage, but it is more useful to have Star Killer getting closer to Unleashed. Okay, we triggered it on everybody. I want to hold off on this for a turn because I prefer to do this when everybody doesn't have damage immunity. And look at that, we took out you know what, I'm going to do this in stack stats. Yeah, I'd prefer to do that when everybody wasn't immune. I want to actually do some damage. We can dispel here, so let's do it. Okay, so we get hurt. Awesome. I'm going to do a basic. We have an unleashed right now. We will do it. And then Maul will be able to just do some big damage when it's his turn. Well, we don't even need to get there. Yeah, we will do this to take out Swallow, and then we'll blow up Ray right here. Awesome. Makes it very easy. Pulls away from the Seer Malicos squad, but Seer Malicos, we'll do that right now. We have another counter in gas. And we don't even need to use Krex for it. We did this last week up against that crazy opponent, so if that guy's roster couldn't beat this guy's roster is not going to. And we want the Rex Kron. Yeah. I need to make a tea. I'm not coughing anymore. For some reason I'm sneezing. And I wasn't sneezing all day until I wanted to start recording. Alright, I'm gonna call in Gas to assist just because he did some damage. The turret over on 5s. You know, I'm a little tempted, but we're not going to. Hold off on the form up. Alright, let's AoE. I also did this in Territory Wars today. And it went fine. You know what? Okay, where are we at? I'm really tempted to do it right now, but we're gonna hold off. Just in case they do things like this and quickly get through my protection. Yeah, see, that's why we waited. Although we have no turn meter on Rex, so we might not get... they may do the damage before Rex gets his chance to form up. And Hondo knows to go after 5s. Okay, we survived it. Let's put down a shred. We AoE. We are definitely going to form up now. Going after Vayne. AoE. We took out, what was it, Brutus? Somebody? There we go. And from here, we can auto. They can't revive because it's gas. So we don't have to use SLKR. We got through Hondo, no problem, cheaply. And now that allows me to use SLKR up against Lord Vader without issue. I shouldn't have been so stubborn to learn. Like, I knew some of these things were floating around, and I just kind of didn't incorporate them early enough. Alright, now what I want to do with Jabba, what I had been doing is Great Mother, and one of the things I was learning is I needed to use Great Mother earlier. Or not earlier. I needed to hit auto earlier. We could do that today. I'm not going to, because I have Boba Fett. I kept thinking he was on my defense. What's the team for this? Alright, so this squad is Boba Fett, Bosk, Dengar. So Dengar and Bosk. I want Fennec and Zam. Okay. Boba Fett Kron. Which Dark Side? Oh, don't tell me it's on. Where is it? Oh, I'm on light. No, all. I meant to go all. There it is. Okay. Now, I have no idea how this works. But the win rate is in the 90s. Hopefully we don't have any issue figuring it out. I also haven't been using this you know what, let's double check some of this. So we got doubt on all enemies. Critically hit, thermals, blah blah blah, dispel, thermals, defense, inflict thermals. Okay. Let's taunt. Let's throw those thermals. Let's go with okay, so I can, yeah, let's do that. I can't call assist right now, so we're just gonna basic, or although using specials does something. Throw more thermals. We're gonna basic because we can't call the assist. Alright, do I want to do this yet? I'm gonna do this first, although maybe I shouldn't. I'm so tempted to do this. I'm gonna do this to do it. Okay, we did it. Alright. We can keep doing that on other people, but taking out Bosch early is going to mess them up a bit. All right, we'll hit that thermal. I'm going to hit Cad Bane before his evasion goes crazy. Now we can call in some assists. Do more armor shreds. Okay, Cad's down. That was one of the things that was happening to me last time was Cad Bane. It took me so long to get to Cad Bane that Cad Bane was just dodging everything. His mastery had gone up. Okay. Alright, now we are at 3 stacks of armor shred. We gotta burn through Chrysanthemum. Here we go. Take him out. Awesome. Now it's auto. Great. Okay. So that's 3 new counters taking out GLs. Or newish. Like. So that gets us through. And that puts me now at SLKR here. Which one of the things I could do actually is switch to Pirate Hondo here. That'd probably be much better for banners, because this has not been great for banners. Okay. Alright, to hit the dots, I'm gonna throw the stun on Disguised. I'm going to throw up the shocks. Okay. So we got order 66 right now. Go back here. I'm going to stun CX2, but maybe I should be hitting Scorch. Okay. Ultimate. let's stun Nightfall. I'm gonna take out Disguised right now. Now we can stun Scorch. Or not. Alright, we'll start doing our AoEs. Okay. I'm surprised I haven't lost anybody yet. Okay. Now, so you can just see how much easier this is going because I'm using newer counters instead of using older counters that with these crimes have become less reliable, but I was still using them because I was just deciding to be in my comfort zone. Now, the rest of this, do I need to consider? We could do Melgus up against Boba Fett. I don't care up against Fugitive with no Amis. And then Great Mother. Or we could do JMK. We got options. I think we can deal with Ahsoka. Although, Ahsoka here with no exile. Oh, let's check the Kron. It is a tank Kron. Which means Bane's not going to get through it. Yeah, we'll just do what we normally do. Or what we've been doing, which is Leia. I was considering going maybe a little weaker, like we could do like Bo-Katan, but I don't think there's a reason to do that. I never can see you. Where are you? There you are. I've been considering increasing her relics just to make her easier to find for me. That's how I've been feeling about it. She's like the one character I can never find. Alright. Yeah. Okay, that all looks good. This should be fine. Without exile here, this is not a major concern. Alright, we pull back the turn meter on to Drogon. I will then swap with Drogon so he can just do his attack early. I'll put the stealth over here so that the attacks get focused onto Jin where they don't do anything. You know what? Can we stun Huyang? Good. Alright, we'll start stacking mastery. I could just take out Fulcrum. Like, she's right there. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. The exile I didn't notice. Didn't really matter, but because I wanted call to action on her, but I didn't pay attention to the fact that she got exiled. Okay. Another stun onto Huyang. Oh, let's take him out. Okay. Yeah, this is just, we're crushing it. We're going to try and go 3-0 again. Because I do feel like I have a real shot at it if I beat this opponent. Because this is the toughest opponent of the week. Or of the bracket. He might not be the toughest of the week. Alright, let's auto. Did I watch anything worth talking about in the past couple days? I don't think so. Just Fallout. I was watching that before I started playing. We're getting some more background to things. I feel like the show's not doing an amazing job at using its time to progress the story and everything. There's a lot of like, did this scene really need to be here stuff? But I still love it. It doesn't matter. I love Fallout. Like, we're talking about like my favorite IP properties. That's something we can do. I think I want to just do like a list in every video. We just did that. The most movies, the movies I rewatched the most in the past 25 years that were released in the past 25 years. We've been doing that. But if we're talking about my favorite IP properties, Fallout is in no particular order. Fallout. Star Wars is in there, but not as high as you'd think if we were putting this in order. Star Trek. Marvel. But I feel like that's almost like cheating. And I've always liked Marvel. Like, here's one thing. Like, I remember having a conversation, I want to say like the 4th or 5th grade. Why is this taking? I know it's taken forever because Ahsoka's has that tank crowd, but this is getting ridiculous. Are we going to time out? We're definitely timing out. Anyway, yeah, so I remember having a conversation at some point in the 4th or 5th grade. This was in the 90s. This was like peak comic books. Like, the comic book craze in the 90s was insane. Everybody was in the comics. Like, every kid was in the comics. And all those people stopped being into comics. I remember having the conversation. Somebody was like, "You're gonna grow out of it." Like, and I was just like, "No, I don't think I'm gonna grow out of comic books." Part of it is like, my father's was super into comics. Like, I grew up in a house where our basement had. I mean, maybe my memory over time has distorted this, but I think he had like 20 long boxes, minimum. And I think that's me being conservative because I don't want to sound crazy by saying he had 40. Because there's definitely 2 row, like our crawl space. If the crawl space was, it could have been 10 to 12 feet wide. It was like maybe 80% full of long boxes, going like short way, filling it out, and then 2 rows of that, plus a couple stacked up. 40 is probably too high. 20 sounds like it's too low. But my house was full of comic books. Now, I have always had a preference for Marvel, even prior to all of this stuff going on. But I would just like go down in the basement and just choose something to read. But actually, I very quickly graduated out of Marvel in DC. Like, I loved Nexus, like Steve Rude's Nexus. I think Mike Barron wrote it. That stuff was great. I love that. All right, the rest of this is easy. And you know, we've been doing pretty decent on banners. Some of those battles I thought I was going to lose people, we didn't. Yeah, so I say all that to say, I knew I wasn't going to grow out of comics. And it was actually a little annoying because there's a weird transition where prior to comic book movies becoming a thing, you're just kind of looked at as like a nerd for being into comics. And then suddenly it like flipped, and now I was pretentious for liking comics. And it's just like, no. Like, I was in the trenches when this stuff was uncool. And now it became cool. And it's kind of shifted out of being cool again. So maybe you can all experience what it was, the before times. Okay, we got support. Because like when Doomsday comes out in Secret Wars, I do not think that these movies are hitting $1 billion. I think that window of time has moved on. Like, I don't think the popularity is ever going to be at that level again. Like, the fact that Superman didn't hit $1 billion, that Fantastic Four did that poorly, like, it's just, I don't think comic book movies are that thing anymore. Alright, let's get back up here. Yeah, so we got Fallout, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, but Marvel, if we're going to subdivide, it's definitely X-Men, it's definitely Spider-Man. I never cared about the Avengers. I definitely didn't like Captain America, because in the 90s, Captain America was terrible. Captain America got good in the 2000s, when Ed Brubaker started writing Captain America. Like, the Captain America Winter Soldier storyline is incredible. I highly recommend anything that Ed Brubaker has written. He's done amazing work. One of my favorite comics that I read, it's called Gotham Central, and it is the Gotham Police Department. And it's two writers. It's Greg Rucka and Ed Brubaker. I forget who writes which, but one of the writers does the day shift, one of the writers does the night shift. Batman doesn't appear in the comics. It's just the police department. And I guess his like shadow will appear. You might like see a glimpse of Batman, but it's Batman through the perspective of what the cops would normally see of Batman, which is not at all. And then the police having to deal with like Mr. Freeze and deal with like those threats and investigate those kinds of like Gotham crimes. It's fantastic. I love it. Alright, let's take out Boss Nass, and from here we can auto. Batman's definitely one of my favorite IPs. Superman wasn't. I did not care for a lot of DC, because a lot of DC stuff like I wasn't interested. What I did like was Vertigo, the DC's like mature line. That was fantastic. Like Hellblazer, Animal Man, Shade the Changing Man, a lot of those like British imports who worked on 2000 AD. 2000 AD being the comic line for Judge Dredd. Though all those writers who came in were amazing. Alright, what we got? Qui-Gon, that doesn't matter. Cadme. Now that's a question. We do have Jabba. We have GLs. But Cadme, I'm pretty sure, can handle JML. JMK is an option, but if we do JMK here, we can't do JMK up against Great Mother. Great Mother, I know, can take out Jabba, so Jabba's not an option there. So I gotta think about this. Oh, you know what we have? We got Bane. Usually Bane's gone at this point, so I didn't even think about it. And I never do Bane up against Cadme, because I'm always having to do Bane up against a GL. But now, because we played things differently today, I have the luxury of being able to use Bane here. Yeah, you can just see like the benefit of doing the bare minimum of learning how to of staying up to date on counters. All right, let's increase cooldowns. All right, we'll be able to throw ability block on all these Jedi. Yeah, let's do ability block here. I kind of want to do it on Padme. You know what? Let's do ability block. And now we'll do dots. I did that even though we could have reduced one more cooldown by doing them in different order, just because... oh my god. Well, because Padme could cleanse. Was not expecting them to blow up like that. Alright, do I have remnants? I do, right? Yeah, let's do remnants. Remnants crushes this. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Attackers? Sure, let's do attackers. So what are... Yeah, so like... That's covering... Oh, Mars Attacks? I love Mars Attacks. Like, I have all those Topps comics. That's a weird one that I'm, like, really into. Like, I like the figures. I really weirdly like... I don't know. I mean, if you know me, it's not that weird. But Mars Attacks is a property that I'm always into. Hellboy. Hellboy, I got into super... So here's... Like, my first comic was Darkhawk 14. Venom's on the cover. I read that for... Maybe I should take another step back. One of my great ideas. Sometimes I have good ideas. And I came up with the idea as, like, an 8-year-old, like a 7 or 8-year-old, that one of my Christmas presents should be that every month, my father takes me to the comic book store, and I get a $10 budget. Which at the time, comics were like $2. So, it was 5 comics. Now it reduced over time to where it was a couple. But that went on for years. So that's like how a lot of my collection was built out, was just that Christmas present idea I had just going on. And I quickly graduated from... I read Marvel and DC at first, of course, but then I started like having preference for artists. And Mike Mignola was not my first preference. My first preference was Art Adams. We're gonna go Sith because I don't want to think about this one right now. We're gonna do Melgus, you, Tankcron, Tank. Yeah, so my first preference was Art Adams. Now, Art Adams, he did Fantastic Four, he did the Hulk, he has a very particular style, and I loved his stuff. And I got really into him, and he had a comic that I started reading, which was Monkey Man and O'Brien. It was Dark Horse Comics Legend line. And actually, almost all of Dark Horse Legends line. Like, that's Mike Allred, Mike Mignola. Mike Allred did Madman. He graduated to like Ecstatics and X-Men and Catwoman, Fantastic Four. Like he's since did other things, but at the time he was doing Madman, and I love Madman. Madman's another one. But it was Mike Mignola, Madman, Art Adams, those are the big ones, and then you had Paul Chadwick with Concrete, which, do I have that over here right now? Yeah, I do. Alright, we're gonna equip this one. So I gotta fix this camera. So like, the art became very important to me. Like this is a collection of Concrete, Paul Chadwick. Like his art, and it was kind of... I wasn't into Paul Chadwick when I was younger, because his artwork is black and white, and when I was young, I needed it to be in color. But just like the way he draws is incredible, with the contrast and the colors and how he was using black and white. Now, I skipped that at the time. I'm circled back on it in recent years. But enough tangents. It was Monkey Man and O'Brien, Art Adams. And I wanted to get the first appearance of Monkey Man and O'Brien. And the first appearance of Monkey Man and O'Brien was in Hellboy Seed of Destruction. It's a 4-issue miniseries of Hellboy. And each of the 4 issues is a mini comic in the back of Monkey Man and O'Brien. So I got the back catalog of Hellboy to get those Monkey Man and O'Brien mini comics. And then I would read the Hellboy comics, and then I got really into Mike Mignola. And I grabbed all the Hellboy. And at that time, this was years before the Hellboy movies came out. And I just was able to just go into those long boxes at the comic book store and just grab every Hellboy comic for cheap. Nobody cared about Hellboy back then except for me. When eBay became a thing, I got the first appearance of Hellboy in X-Men 21 for $20 to $40. It was before the movies had come out. And then when the movies came out, I was just hyped because now I got my guy. And the movies, I mean, I like them, but they're not like. Well, I love Ron Perlman. He was a great Hellboy. The movies aren't very Hellboy. Even though, like, I like them for what they are, but they're not what I wanted. Yeah, so Hellboy is a big property, like BPRD, all that's just great stuff. But Hellboy wasn't even my number one. My number one was Madman, Mike Allred's Madman. All right, we gotta. What are we doing? Okay. Okay, we got that handled. I kind of want to leave that feet. You know what? Dengar's just gonna stealth, so let's not go after Dengar. I just didn't want Django to take a turn and take out. Okay, good. I didn't want Django to take out anybody. I want to keep my banners up. We've been really good about banners today, and I don't want to end that. Okay. Let's auto. Did I already do the Imperial Remnants? Did I just talk my way throughout all of that and I already forgot about it? Seems like it. Oh wait, am I going to be able to do this JMK up against this? Is it the instant revive block? No, that's not. Is that a Territory Wars thing? I can do it. Yeah, I know I've done this before. You know what I forgot about? Melgus is a counter. I wonder if I should have considered Melgus and then how would I handle Boba Fett. I'm sure there's a way we could have found through Boba Fett. That Boba Fett crowd is really annoying. What am I reading? Okay. Alright. We got Attacker Crons. Is that what I want to do? That looks good. I'm going to put damage immunity here. We're going to charge up. Okay. We'll hit action there. Okay. We'll hit Great Mother. I did it, but it didn't do anything. Alright. We'll get the ultimate next.
Perfect.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Now I need to wait until the stealth is over. And I won't hit Great Mother, because I think I should have ignored her last time. Maybe she wouldn't have gone under stealth. Okay, come on. Here we go. Great Mother down. I'm gonna do damage immunity there again, you know what? Because maybe that'll keep Kenobi around just a bit longer. Alright. That's looking good. You know what? Let's go with a healing immunity on more. Oh, awesome. Alright, we're good. Crushed it. You know, another property that I like. There's not a ton of comics. So it's like it's not even like a thing that. It's hard to like say it's an IP I care a lot about, even though it is, because it's like a very minor one. It's the Rocketeer. I love the Rocketeer. Like I don't have like a lot of little knickknacks around, but the Rocketeer is represented here. How do I want to deal with this? I just feel like Jabba and Auto. Is that a thing? It feels like Jabba would crush this, right? Especially without Amis. You know what? Let's do this. The Dispel. Alright, we got Mercenary Wrecker. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, so we're shutting down the assists for a couple turns. Now we can AoE. Yeah, let's get the... What is this called again? Trusted Agent. Get shifted over to Crosshair. Let's Dispel. Mass Assist. Oh, we didn't have any thermals there. Not a great use of the Mass Assist. Okay. Alright, here's the contract. Okay. Well, I kind of alluded to it. Judge Dredd is absolutely one of my IPs I care about. I've got a thing from the library for him too. Oh, you know what? I'm forgetting some of the big ones when I was a kid. Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters. Absolutely. It's hard to be a kid of my age and not care about those. Do I want to eat you? Sure, let's do it. Okay, blow up. Awesome. Okay, so Embo will dispel that retribution, which I would appreciate because I don't want anybody to come back. Alright, another captive. You know what, let's throw this on Mercenary because we can get Mercenary into captive real easy. Is it? No, it's not captive, it's yeah, no, it is captive. Okay. Alright, captive. Now it is 4. Crosshair's the only one close to returning. Can we take... there we go. Alright. So how are we playing this? All right, I know this is always like a little tricky, but we've played this version a couple. You know, maybe I should. No, this is only tricky because I set down the defense that I set down, and I think the best way through this, we're gonna play it. I added a relic to Sunfact to make this a little bit easier. And I need to increase the relic levels though, and I need to add relics to the rest of these pilots. That's what I'm looking at some of the tokens for. All this is getting a little bit easier. What this signal data is? I have so many Kairos now. I have a ridiculous amount of Kairos. Yeah, take out the buzz or the vulture. Take out the vulture. Oh man, I do get this basic. I want to clear the foresight. Because maybe we can get a stun if Sunfact doesn't die. Nope. Don't die, please. I'm gonna submit. We might get stuck with fleet. All right, we're gonna do endurance here. Yeah. Okay. Right. Right. Oh wait, am I feeling crazy? Because we could consider this site. Nah, too much RNG. Too much RNG. Let's just do this. Because if it's not Houndstooth on the starting line, the site does actually pretty well. Alright, base. Okay, valid. Oh, you know what? For once, my notebook is ready right here. I should just... Oh, I did it wrong. I was supposed to taunt on the Rex. This is why I want my notebook. I'm going to bring in Anakin because it's too late, because they already got the contract off, so having... What's-it doesn't do anything. Okay. We'll do that. So we were able to hit Cad Bane as well. Alright, AoE, we take out Cad Bane. I don't think this is going great. Alright, now we can bring up Pro, Cleanse, Turn Meter, Basic, perfect, Foresight, Ultimate, perfect. Okay, we're good. I didn't play it well, but we got away with it. Why do you bother with the taunt? You ignore his taunt. There's no other ships. Okay, so I did that. Now I'm gonna do Chimera here. But the Chimera, I believe it's a little RNG dependent. Is why I don't like doing it. It works sometimes, but I think I have to do it. So I have to do the Profundity now up against Home 1. And maybe even if this doesn't work, I make enough progress. Alright, I need, so not the Bomber, Scythe, and it is Advanced Pilot, and that part's okay. Alright. And we are facing Anakin, Marauder. Okay. Let's get to it. I find that this is dependent on whether or not they attack Scythe early. Okay, so I get to go first, so maybe things will go fine today. Like, that's what I'm talking about. What? This... No, I'm gonna lose ships. I need to watch something on this one. I'm pulling turn meter. No. No. See, here's the problem, because what am I going to do? So finalizing red is home one's going to blow them up. The only option I have is to see if we can pick apart this fleet. We'll give it a shot. I just don't think we can do it. But this is the only one that has this. We have a chance at picking apart with what we have left. Maybe I should be going after one of these other ships. It's just I know he's going to taunt, and I'm not going to be able to deal with this Y-Wing. Well, we can stun, though. Let's stun Marauder. Does that prevent stun? We're gonna submit after this. I feel like fleets are much more vulnerable to preloaded turn meter than squads. Like squads, it can completely mess you up. I don't feel like it completely messes up fleet. So I do it quite frequently. And I wish I would have done it after the Empire. Alright, we're going to try Radis. But I don't think so. Okay. Days isn't... Oh, just... Turn meter. No, we'll just do this. What? Oh, okay, fine. I thought... Oh, the other one's the dispel. No. Over. Not enough ships. We can't do enough damage, and we have days. No. Yeah. Alright. So we're not clearing fleet, which is not good. We'll take out the home one. We'll get a couple more banners. Yeah, we needed to beat those other fleets in different ways. This is why I say, like, I feel like that combo of ships, I'm very vulnerable with the ships that I have. And maybe you know what? I definitely think I'm going to change it. Because these days, the chances that you're winning with fleet are relatively low unless you're doing like what I'm doing, where you have like 2 meta fleets or 3 meta fleets on defense, and your opponent, there's a certain combo. And if you just keep the strong fleets, you get through. I think I'm changing. Because it's really annoying that, like, after having such a good match, I could lose this on fleets. We'll see what he does. His participation's been inconsistent. But he might smell blood in the water. He has a strong offense. Yeah, we crushed squads. We just crushed squads today. Yeah, we're changing fleet defense. All right, we'll check back in the morning, see what happens. We won. A little anticlimactic, though. I just got a default win. This is what annoys me about being, like, the middle of Kyber 2. Just the amount of matches that I automatically win. Like, this would have been interesting had he played, since I didn't full clear. Had I full cleared, I think it would have been an easy win, because we one-shot all the squads. I was pretty confident I could have got at least a hold, but the fact that I couldn't clear fleet put this up into question, and he just didn't care, which I thought was a possibility from his history. His participation was inconsistent, but it was in play. The match was in play. Well, maybe the rest of this week, but I said this at the beginning of the video. 3-0 is in play. 3-0 this week is in play. This was the toughest opponent in the bracket. He had the most relics. He had Datacrons, he had the best mods. Like, this was a serious quality opponent from at least a roster standpoint, not from a participation standpoint. So the rest of this week's going to be a whole lot easier. GP is going to be easier. Relics will be easier. Everything should be easier except for participation. So we're going for it. If I really want 3-0, since we went 0-3 this week. 3-0 this week puts me in for a 6-3 season. So we could potentially just still have a great season overall, even though we had one rough week when we were on the bubble of Kyber 1. We were a match or two away from Kyber 1. Potentially a match could have got us there. If not, we would have been like 1 or 2 skill rating away. But for the rest of the week, the weekend, we have the overview of the feats. That's in this video up here in the corner. And we are going to have a Datacron video out this weekend in addition to a bunch of other content getting ready for Conquest. So thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everybody. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.